Hello everyone, welcome back to the one and only Holistic Life Transformation. Today we're going to talk about 7 truths that you need to answer all of your questions. And what I mean by that is that basically every one of us is trying to find solutions for his problems, and you want to change your life, you want to be successful, you want to be healthy and manifest your dreams, whatever it is. And automatically we try to look for answers that help us to get where we want to be. And I have been there before. 2 years ago I lost my job after I studied for quite a long time and quite tough. It was tough years. And despite that, I lost my job after 1 year. It came out of the blue. And I was thinking, should I just keep going like I did before? Or should I look for other answers, for other options to approach my general approach to life? What was wrong about it that I ended up like this? And what I did, I started looking for answers. I looked into self-help, self-improvement, success strategies, all kinds of things. All these self-help gurus, all the books they write, inspirational quotes, and so on and so forth. And what I realized is that basically many of these quotes and strategies, how to manifest, how to get where you want to be, always evolve around the same principles, the same strategies. It always comes back down to the same thing. But I didn't first know what are these things, what it is that they are evolve around. And so I kept looking, and I realized that in the past, in the ancients, they already thought about this kind of stuff as well. They thought about the mind, the spirit, the universe, and so on. And if you read certain quotes and proverbs and whatever, some of them they resonate with you. At least they do with me. You feel it's right. It's truth. And so what I did, I tried to go even further back in time and find the ancient wisdom that is basically the core, that is the origin of every inspiration you can find or need in order to achieve your goals or your dreams and to become who you're meant to be. And what I found, I'm going to share with you right now. And what I'm talking about are the 7 cosmic principles, or as I used to call them, 7 universal principles, because of their universal appeal. So what are these 7 universal principles that go back to the days of old Egypt and even Atlantis, if you want? They are said to be to be originated by Hermes, the Greek god of wisdom, and he is actually Thoth, who lived in old Egypt and Atlantis, and he was the master of our masters, if you want. And he taught his principles, but they are also not his principles, if you want. They are just general. So what are these principles? The first principle is the principle of spirit. Everything is mental, everything is spiritual. It means there are no solid forms, there is no matter. Everything is spirit. Everything is conscious. So this means also you are spirit, and you create your reality, and the reality around you, around us, is basically the reflection of your own creation. So you can imagine this like being a dancer and a dance. One activates the other. The dancer activates the dance, and they dance, and both of them, they are the essence of creation. So your mind is, or your spirit is the plane of will, of intent, and what you do is, in the plane of becoming, of expression, you express yourself, you express your spiritual being by creating the reality around you. And this is not only the reality around you, this is also your body. You are not your body. You are what's inside your body. You are the spirit that puts into manifestation and creation its own reality. And this is what you are supposed to understand, is that we are creating our own reality. We are the projector. We are projecting, and it's like a screen in the cinema. You are seeing the movie, but what you have to understand is that you are not the movie, but you are the one who projecting it is on the screen. So this is the first universal principle of spirit. And it also recently, science discovered at quantum physics, the so-called observer effect, that the outcome of an experiment is determined or is influenced by those observing it. So science is getting there, but it's still not fully accepted or wanted, but it is a principle, and if you feel inside of you, I think you can feel that this truth behind it. So the second principle is the principle of correspondence. As within, so without. I think you heard about it. As above, so below. And so there is no really a difference between the macro and the microcosmos. Everything is connected. This is what it's all about. Everything is connected, and there are really no hierarchies, no levels in like better or worse. We tend to compare ourselves to other people. If we look up to them or we look down to them, and compare ourselves where we stand. But we should realize that everything is one. We come all from the same origin, and this principle of correspondence actually teaches us that we should not forget that we have this origin. And when you focus inside of yourself, and whatever is inside of you automatically will be around you, as within, so without. So this means that everything you see, your creation, your reality, is basically telling you what's going on inside of you, also in your body. This means any health issues we have, any blocks or diseases, originate, in fact, from inside of us. Inside is not our body. The body is already outside. The body is already our creation. So the spirit inside of us creates these imbalances because we are not aware of ourselves. But we often tend to find excuses. We look around us and try to give away responsibility. But understanding this principle, we will realize that it's actually us that has the power to change everything. So the next principle is the principle of vibration. Everything is vibrating, everything is energy, there's nothing truly fixed. And so the universe is made of energy. If you look into the smallest particle, there are no particles, they are just probabilities and frequencies and energy potentials. And you cannot really, at a certain point, you realize there's only vibration, energy. And what you have to understand is that with your mind, or better with your spirit, you basically can affect this vibration, you can affect the frequency, and whatever you tune into, you attract. And whatever you focus on, your spiritual focus, it starts to grow. Whatever you focus on grows. So this is the third principle, the principle of vibration. Everything is vibrating. The fourth principle is the principle of polarity. Everything has two poles. Everything has a corresponding opposite, but in fact they are all the same. They are two aspects of one and the same thing. So in reality there are no paradoxes. They can be all combined together, and you have to realize that everything is one. And this is especially important when you think about your emotions, your pain, your fears, the things you see in your life that you don't like. And so every situation which is apparently negative always bears the positive side as well, the positive pole. So when you encounter something negative and you focus on the opposite aspect, you can in fact balance this polarity out. It neutralizes it, and this way you can always deal with every situation, with every emotion, with every fear, and transform it into something positive. And you overcome polarity in this way. It has no longer any power over you. So the fifth principle is the principle of rhythm, which is when you have these opposing poles. Rhythm is the compensation between the moving compensation between these poles. So you have this everything. If you think about it, you breathe in, you breathe out. Things increase, things decrease, life and death. So you have always this eternal spiral of rhythm. Nothing is ever the same, but it's still the swing of the pendulum, moving back and forth. And what you have to see that is, if you think that your life is like a roller coaster going up and down, good time, bad times, you have never really balance. This is because you in fact increase the effects certain events have on your life. When you encounter something negative and you think negative and you amplify this negativity with your emotions and your thoughts, it gets even worse. If you want to compensate these effects, you should focus on the opposite pole. You can balance this rhythm, these rhythmic forces, and this will help you to live in peace. This is also what is living in the present moment is about, because if you think about it, rhythm is time. Everything keeps changing, everything is in a constant move. Only thing that's constant is change, and this change means rhythm. And in order to be aware of what's going on, you have to be living in the present moment. So this is what it means to understand and to apply the universal principle of rhythm into life and make it work for you rather than against you. The sixth principle is the principle of cause and effect. Everything that has a cause has an effect, and everything that has an effect has a cause. There is no destiny, there is no fate, there is no coincidence, there's only cause and effect. Whatever you do will have an effect. So rather than looking where you are right now, what are you seeing is only the result of a course, of a previously set course. So if you want to change your life, you have to set the right courses. You have to proactively do something which will benefit you in the future. You have to plant the seeds today and not harvest what you planted yesterday. So focus on the seeds you plant and not on the harvest you reap. This is the principle of cause and effect. It's also often called karma, but it doesn't mean you're guilty or anything. It just means that every effect has a cause, and every cause has an effect, action, reaction. And realize that you have the power to set new causes in your life that will have to result in the respective effects. It has to be this way. You can rely on it, and it's happening. But right now maybe not to your liking. So the seventh principle is the principle of gender. Everything has a female and a male aspect. And if you think about it, even us, if we are a man or a woman, we always have two sides in us. We have the left and right brain hemisphere. One is female aspects, emotions. One is male aspect, analytical mind and intellect. And only these two together, the material side and the spiritual side, the female and the male together, balanced, can also create a balanced life. If you're too emotional, your life will not be smooth. If you're too analytical, too intellectual, your life will not be balanced. So only by balancing these two out, you actually tap into your full potential, also in your creative potential. No artist, no big scientist, writer, all of them, they have to not only be good at what they do, they also have to follow their intuition and their creativity, which is born by embracing both sides in you. And this is also important to attract your ideal partner in life. If you're not balanced, if somehow you are more on the female side or on the male side, you will, and have some discrepancy, some lack, you will also attract people who reflect this lack and back to you, and this will influence your relationship. So once you're balanced out inside, you will also attract your ideal partner, or the partner that you have right now will change as well, and you will have a more prosperous relationship. And this is basically what all the principles are about. So how can they help you to answer all of your questions? Of course, you have many different questions, but when you come back to these principles and you think about them and truly integrate them into your life, you will find the answers. What you have to understand is that we are creating every single second of our lives our reality. We are 100% responsibility for what's happening in our lives. And these principles help us to understand the mechanics behind this creation. Many people talk about the law of attraction, karma, and manifestation, and so on. But these are only aspects of these 7 principles that work always together. They have an order. They start with the first principles, but they always work together. You cannot separate them. And the easiest way to start is to focus on your intent, on your vibration, on your love frequency. Love frequency is the highest frequency and is the greatest power in the universe. And focusing on this unconditional love to yourself and to all people around you and beings, not just people, animals, the environment, everything, you will change your entire reality. You change yourself and you change your reality, as within as so without. So you see, it's all combined, but it's maybe at the beginning hard to always remember all of these principles. So I have prepared a sheet which you can print out if you want. I will prepare the link in the description where you can see these principles, but as a start, realize that you're always in charge of your life. You can decide where you want to go, what's going to happen, and the best way is to focus on your vibration and your love frequency. Do everything with a kind heart, and from there you can move on to become the creator of your reality and the reality that you truly want. So with this, I think it's time to end this video. And thank you for watching and for liking and for sharing and giving feedback. I really appreciate it. What do you want to, if you have questions or comments, let me know what you want to know more about, and what topics I should focus on more. I plan to go more into the details of each individual principle, because I cannot cover all in this one video. So I will go into the details of each principles, but never forget they all work together. And I think when you truly let it sink in, you will understand this power, this deep wisdom that is that you can find in these principles. So with this, I say goodbye and see you next time. Have a nice day. Bye.